good morning. I'm going to focus on Chumash because I'm not doing Tanya today, the learning Friday morning. So I want to take a look at the order of the Chumash. Last week's Chumash was talking about splitting the sea, going into the desert, Amalek, all the things that they hit along the way, all the things that they had to rely on Hashem with full faith. It was a test of endurance almost. Could you fully trust in me? I'm putting so many things in your way. Look, in Mitzrayim, I showed you that I am the Almighty. I did the 10 makas. Then you come to a big thing blocking your way with the Egyptians chasing after you, and I split the sea. Now we go into the desert and there's no water and you have to rely on me for man. And what's the point of it all? Why this need for building this endurance, this betachan in Hashem? What's the purpose of being Jews? Why are we even receiving the Torah? And in this week's portion, it starts off with Yisro's advice to Moshe. And it ends off with the 10 Commandments. I'm not sure of all of them, but definitely the first two. And then the Yidden said, we can't handle it. And Moshe said, but this is, Hashem wants to come close to you. Like, this is what Hashem wants to do. And the Yidden said, no, we want to hear from you. What is this really? Is it just a story? No. Like, we know everything in Torah is to be lived with right now. So, any challenge that we feel like we're facing right now is this story. So we have something, right, that feels like a Mitzrayim. We feel trapped. And we work on freeing ourselves. Hashem shows us. Hashem, we cry out to Hashem, and Hashem does miracles for us, and Hashem releases that bondage. Then we think we're fully free, and boom, we hit the Yam Suf. And then Hashem splits the sea. Okay, so again, test that. Not like, trust in me, fully trust in me, and I will continue to lead you and guide you and split the sea. Okay, we split the sea and we reveal the goodness in what the seeming negative is. What we think is negative in this galus, in this world, what the world sees is different from Hashem's reality. So we split the sea and we see the geula, we see the aleph in the galus. Okay, so we split the sea. Then we think we're done. And no. We are in the desert and there's Amalek and there's no water. Water meaning there's no sweet Torah to learn. It feels like everything is harsh. Everything feels bitter, heavy. Okay? Amalek is the things that feel cold, like we suddenly don't feel excited about Hashem and the Torah, and it just feels like that mocking voice, like, why did you even believe? The food, right? We know with the food that Hashem sent a certain amount, no matter how much they worked on gathering, it ended up the same amount. It would spoil. So every single person got the amount that Hashem wanted for them. Yes, they had to go out and collect, but it ended up being the amount Hashem wanted. What is this training? This training is what we are here to infuse the world with, right? What was the Avanim? What were the Greeks? All the things people trying to get the Yidden not to follow Hashem. With our own might, that is, we are the God ourselves. With our own might, that's how we succeed. The Yidden are here to say, no, you need to let go. You need to realize that you do your part, but ultimately, Hashem's the one doing the work. And it looks so false in our eyes. We see success, what people seem to put in the most work, success, and those that, but ultimately, the amount of food, the amount of success is in Hashem's hands. And that's, I think, what this training was for. And then they get to Har Sinai, and Hashem wants to speak to them directly. Hashem wants to be in this one-on-one relationship with them. And they say, no, we're not ready for that. And what's interesting is that the Parsha starts with Yisro giving the advice to Moshe. And a question that came to my mind was, what about before then? What were they using for their advice before then? Like, who are they following? Who are they? And of course, they hadn't gotten the Torah yet, so they didn't yet have questions regarding different laws. But I'm sure things came up, situations. What did they do? And I'm sure they had like elders and leaders. And I wonder if maybe they were more in tune with themselves, with listening to their inner guide, perhaps. And then, so it's almost like backwards, forwards, right? So they were so used to, they did that. Then they get free from Mitzrayim. Then it starts off with Yisro giving this advice, kind of saying that I want to have a one-on-one relationship with you. Okay, but you're not ready for that? Okay, we'll start with steps. Because that's how the Parsha ends, that I will do it through Moshe. So it's like we're going backwards, forwards in order to go backwards again in a higher way, in a more intimate way with Hashem directly, without the constraints of the worldly thinking, the Mitzrayim, whatever's holding us back. So with that, have a wonderful Shabbos and take care.